Okay, so welcome to the Node.js Community NAPI team meeting for the 4th of March, 2019. We will follow along with our standard agenda. So does anybody have any announcements they'd like to share first? Okay, if not, I'm going to pull up our milestone issue. And okay, I got the wrong one. Hold on, as I usually seem to do. Issues, milestones, blah, share. Okay, so the TSFN backports, Gabriel, anything new on that front?
Nope, it's all still on track, but I haven't seen any movement.
I mean, I guess they're all ready to, they're basically landed in the staging branches?
Well, I don't think they're landed. The PRs are still open as far as I know.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Which three, so against the 10, 8, and 6, or?
No, just 10 and 8.
Okay, right, that's right. We were going to.
Yeah, I don't think it can make it back to 6.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's just way too different. And I don't believe that anybody will want to. I mean, it is Semver minor, right? So it's very unlikely.
Yeah, no, I'm not, I think we've agreed not to do it in 6. I'm just going to ping Bethany.
Okay, here it is.
Okay, and I just ask, the 2 TSFN backports for 10.x and 8.x, will they land in staging as part of? Okay, so I just pasted a quick question to Bethany to say, those 2 TFSN backports for 10.x and 8.x, will they land as staging as part of the release process, or should they be happening in advance? And because she's doing the 12.x release and is in the release working group, so at least it will tell us whether it's just the way it should be, or we should be trying to remind somebody to get them landed.
Okay, that's cool.
Okay,
I'm just checking the PR, and there's been some force pushes, so at least there are no conflicts, which is good.
Okay, right. Okay, right, because that sometimes would add some fun.
Yeah. Oh boy, V8 has conflicts.
Okay.
Okay, I better fix this one quickly.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna fix this.
Okay, I just noticed that. Okay. Okay, so it's good we checked on that. So in terms of the focus on async worker, again, Gabriel, I know you had one. I was starting to do some time landing things. I think you were blocked on OSX last time, but you'd mentioned you might have fixed that.
Yeah, the PR is okay now. It runs on OS 10, but I'm still kind of I don't know. I'm still not 100% sure about this crash, and I'm starting to run out of ideas. I basically tried to see what else would affect whether it crashes or not, and the only other thing besides marking the functions as hidden that would cause the crash to go away is to not compile one of the add-ons with exceptions and the other without. So if you compile our tests such that both versions have no exceptions, which obviously is useless for testing, but just as an experiment, then again, it doesn't crash. Whereas if you turn on exceptions on one of them, it does crash. So I don't know what's going on. Like, it's completely weird. So I was just thinking about opening a second PR, which is not to be landed, but rather just to illustrate the crash, and there's just basically just, I don't know, ping people from V8 and stuff, because it does crash inside V8, just to see if they have any insights that I might be missing, because I'm really starting to run out of ideas as to why it might be crashing.
But you said hiding, like last time I think we talked about it, you said there was like a keyword that we could use to hide certain things in the.
Yeah. Oh, and okay, actually, I do have one idea left, which is that we should try to um, put the implementations of functions, like not the inline ones, but things which actually have their pointers taken at some point and therefore cannot be inlined. Put those in a .cc file, and then compile that as a static library and link it against whoever's using Node.js on API. Just like we do with the implementation of an API when an API is not built into Node.js.
I don't think we want to do something like that. Like, I think we want it to be inline, and as soon as we have like an extra library, it's complicated, more likely that then there's something in that you need the updated or not version, right?
The updated or not version.
Well, like today you just inline, and so there's no extra thing that you have to link in or.
Yeah, that's true. However, even I mean, you are inlining things, but not all things are inline. Some things are declared at the top of your file, and they are extra symbols. So, like it is inline code, but it also results in extra symbols, right? And
right. I thought we were thinking about there was like a keyword we could apply, so those would be hidden.
Yeah. No, that is potentially the solution. But before we go there, I would like to see if it behaves differently if we just properly put it in a CC file. Because the thing is, like, we are declaring functions and we are declaring function bodies and implementing functions in a header file, right? That's not normally a good thing, right? Like, normally the declarations go in the header file and the functions go into a .cc file, right? Now, inline stuff can go into a header file because that's the point. But this is not inline. This is an actual function declaration, which will never be inline because you're taking the pointer of the function at some point. So it cannot be inline because of that, right? And so,
which function is it again? It's like you're saying this is like, because most of the stuff is inline, but there's a function or two that's not.
Yes, so we have a class declaration for async worker which is not templated, right? And the class declaration has two static pointers for like on work complete, I think, and then execute, I think, yeah. And those two pointers get passed to an API, like to the C library. And I mean, and because of that, they will be declared and they will be real functions in any place where the Node add-on API headers get included.
Right. Even if it was templated, that would be the case.
Well, yes, but if it were templated, then the class would actually be declared where the template is specified rather than immediately where it appears in the header. And so the symbols would be different for every specification of the template. So, and this is the case with all the other classes, right? Because we have, for example, we have the object wrap, right? Object wrap also declares a bunch of static functions, of which the pointers get taken, but object wrap is a templated class.
Right. So should we consider templating this one?
Well, we could, but if we do, then that's a severe like source level break, right? So I don't know if we should do that.
Right, but it could be. I'm not saying we get rid of the other one. Like in terms of the way forward, if templating is the way to go, maybe making the templated version, then the docs say this is really what you should be using.
Yeah, and give like a period of deprecation.
Right.
Yeah. If we're willing to do that, then yeah, that's probably a better solution. But I'd first have to see if it avoids the crash.
Yeah. No, but I think that would be my preference. I think because it brings it in to be consistent with the rest of the implementation, and we don't want to break the ABI, on the Node add-on API, but the promises aren't as strong.
Yeah.
And so, but I would do it as a, we say, switch over to this one. This is the one you should use. And if at some point we can get rid of the other one, in a few years or whatever, then we look at doing that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. That's definitely something to try. Okay. So yeah, I'll do that next.
Some way to make the existing one an instantiation of the template that, we say don't use or something, that would be good, even better.
Yes. That's a good idea. Okay. All right. Yeah. So I'll check into that.
And I wonder if we should have anyway, then, if that all works, we could then have like another flag which you can pass that basically says be pure or non-pure or whatever, right? Or to sort of eliminate the one we don't want people to use.
Well, we have a disabled deprecated flag already.
Right. So okay. So yeah, that seems like the way to go, right? You can
so we can just throw the old one in the deprecated bin after a while.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, and I think we don't disable deprecated by default, so we can just do it anytime.
Right. Just put it in there, and then basically it's clear that you shouldn't use it.
Yeah.
If people want to say, well, I only want to use the newer stuff, you turn on the disable deprecated, and there you're off.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so I think that's our major focus on that front. I don't think there's anything else to talk about unless people have things to bring up. No? Okay, so let's move on to this one where we had the issue. I don't know that it's worth going through the whole list again, unless people have like some updates on some particular ones that they want to report.
Today, I opened a new PR on IconView, Node.js. So okay. I'm waiting a review and to go forward.
Sounds good. Okay.
So you took Mr. Kashlakov's PR and moved it forward?
Okay. Last week I pushed a PR on the first developer that executed the porting, but I received any response, and now I created a new PR trying to do to address at what was requested in the original PR request, and now we have a new PR request on Node IconView.
Cool, awesome.
So I'm waiting the review.
Sounds good. Any other ones we want to bring up this week in terms of updates or anything?
I've got the SQLite 3, and I have to say this week I did not make any progress on that. But my immediate objective is to get the code rolled, those patches rolled forward to the point where it's passing the CI, but still has its dependence on libuv. And then the next step is to address the libuv dependencies. So I hope to get that first phase done within the next 2 weeks. So
definitely sounds good.
That's my plan.
Okay, any other updates? No? Okay, so let's flip back to, we already talked about SQLite NAPI port. List of issues raised by module owners. Any ones that people want to highlight for this week?
Only that I didn't have time to work on that package path issue that we were talking about last week.
Right. Okay.
There was only one thing that I kind of sort of realized. I thought about it a little, but I never actually did anything. Is that so? If you do require resolve from the native side, what is it that you're asking to require resolve? You know, like normally you would say require resolve package name, and then you would get your path. But that only covers certain scenarios. So you need to have a fallback, like what if what if somebody is not installing your package as part of the dependency of another package? If they just do npm install, then it sort of has to work the same way, and it still has to return the correct directory. Like if you're testing your own package, you cannot say require my package. You have to say require ... index or something like that. So the things, the parameters you pass to require depend on the scenario in which you find yourself, and to handle that transparently, may take some special cases. So the reporter doesn't want to fall back to like current working directory, because that doesn't work on Electron and stuff. But
right,
we need to have, I think we need to have sort of a fallback sequence, like try the package name. If that doesn't return anything, then try current working directory or something like that. But the sequence of steps and the sequence of steps needs to be established, and we need to agree on that. Like, how do you best establish the path to your package so that you can be assured that your add-on is located in a directory off that path.
Right. And I guess, though, that the current solution of looking up the module just gives you the path without having to worry about any of that, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's still inferior, but if it's a good solution that does not involve traversing large directory structures, it's still better than nothing.
Yeah. I still think it makes me, that may mean, though, we should still think of adding a method which would get the path.
Yeah.
For the future, like a short term, something that you can do today without having to, get an updated version is good. So yes, like you said, it may be that if it's like, you still have to try five different things or something, then maybe us providing a path, a method that gets you the path still makes sense.
Right. Yeah, we'll see how complicated this gets in the end.
Exactly. Yeah. If it's one or two lines or three lines and it's still like going to be guaranteed to always give you the right answer, then fine, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, or something of a similar quality. So the other thing is, in terms of building this way, is you sort of have to, ideally, you can always hard code it, but ideally you'd want to establish the package name at build time and pass it into the source code. So this would require like binding JIP changes as well. So like no JIP module name will give you the name of the add-on, but it won't not necessarily give you the name of the npm package. So you kind of want to like parse the package JSON in your binding JIP and then pass in the package name into the build system so that you can use that as a C preprocessor constant and pass that into require at runtime. So that's another thing that you would need to do to have your package find its own path on the native side. So yeah, all these things need to be documented and implemented and tested to make sure that they actually give the right answer in at least as many circumstances as they did before.
Yeah, and see how complicated it looks
yeah, like. In the end, yeah. So yeah, that's another sort of project.
Yep. Okay.
But that's all I have from last week regarding module owners issues.
Yep. Okay. And tested methods, I think, still on our list, but we just haven't made any progress. The only other thing, as I was planning to go through, I'm going to go and see what I can land today, and then maybe we should consider again if we need to have if it's time to make a release or not. But we can take a look at that after we see what's landed.
Yes, thank you for landing those macros, the exposure of those macros. Yep. That's super awesome for mixing plain C and Node on API calls.
Yep. Yeah, so that's why I figured there's like 12 pull requests. I'll go through, see how many we can get landed, and then see if it makes sense. Probably want to wait, like if the getting the that other one templated is something that's like shorter term, we might want to wait for that. But otherwise, it's getting close to the time to go.
Yeah, I'll do my best this week.
Sure, sounds good. Okay, any other topics we want to talk about this week?
Michael, I will not be able to participate in the call next week.
Okay. Good. Thanks for the heads up.
Yeah.
We'll miss you, but hopefully we'll see you 2 weeks later.
Yep.
Okay. Talk to everybody later.
All right, guys. See you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Talk to y'all later.
Bye-bye.